interact with us at the Women's Business Center through these different platforms or on the one-on-one basis. That's probably the best way you can interact as a small business with us. Get a one-on-one business counseling session, and we can talk to you about more specific items that relate to your business, and you can share your business with us, and we can start a relationship that way. I see Teresa Nedia has scheduled a one-on-one already. Good stuff right there. We'll see you soon, I'm sure. Again, I'm Nathaniel Sperger with the Women's Business Center of North Carolina. I have Phyllis Thornton as well is here with us. Hello. And Dan Stafford from the Women's Business Center. We have today, we're going to be talking about marketing, branding, e-commerce, shipping, and a little bit about that kind of stuff related to preparing for the holiday season. It's a little bit late, as I've been told by many people, but we're still reaching out to you all with stuff that we feel is gonna provide value to you and bring you, even if it's information for next year. At least we're starting that process. And it's never too late to do a little marketing, to do a little branding, to do a little shipping. So let me let Mr. Steve and Wendell introduce themselves, and then we'll get started after that. So if you want, Steve, you're on mute already, so I'll let you go ahead.
Thank you. So thank you again for inviting me, Nathaniel. Thank you, the Women's Business Center, for having me here. My name is Steve Ramirez. I am a franchisee of the UPS Store, and I've got a view of shipping and logistics from the ground, the retail level, and from connecting with online shippers that are locally here in the North Raleigh area, what their experience is. So I hope to share some tips that I've heard from them, things I've kind of confirmed online that I believed also, and hopefully you'll find all the information I share with you helpful.
Great stuff. Thank you for that, Steve. Wendell, if you want just a quick intro, and then you can introduce yourself at length later on as well. I think you're on mute right now, Wendell.
Technology, right?
Yeah.
No worries. So, hi everyone. My name is Wendell Jean-Jules. I'm actually the CEO, founder of WJJ Brands, which basically is a business development, brand, and digital marketing agency. We specialize in web design, graphic design, social media marketing, email marketing, and helping entrepreneurs create actionable business plans to help basically get funding and grow their business.
Great stuff, Wendell. And we like to interact with either small businesses or businesses that are doing well and have something that they want to share with clients that we are interacting with. And so, this is just one way that we try to, share with the community, create a networking environment, and also, there's quite a few people in the chat. You can throw your contact info out there and start that networking as well. We're not in a live situation, which is a better networking environment, but we do what we can with what we have. And probably I would say that's what starting a business is all about, is grabbing those resources that you have available and starting something, do something with what you have at this time. So if you want, Wendell, let's start with you, and we'll kind of switch back and forth.
Yeah, definitely. So, as we already know, the topic of discussion today is all about, basically getting ready for the holidays, which, we're already, today is the 9th of November. So we have a couple of days until Thanksgiving, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, Christmas, and New Year's. So one of the biggest times where a lot of people are spending the most money, trying to get gifts and really help promoting, other brands and other people that they support. So for us, one thing that I guess we can start off with some tips on things that you should be looking into that I feel like some businesses fail to do before the holiday. One is actually having a plan, basically planning ahead of time. basically, I'm sure we all heard the saying, you're late if you're on time, and then you're on time if you're, and you're extremely late if you're on time. So there's a lot of things where you need to be able to prepare yourself strategically about understanding, one, what is your product or service? What product or service are you offering? Who does it appeal to? And what offers are you willing to give in order to get something in return? Because in this day and age now, we're living in a time where people don't necessarily want to buy it right away. They're trying to understand who they're buying from. They're trying to understand, can they relate with them? They're trying to understand, are they a good fit for us? From a branding perspective. So these are the things that we have to nurture people into becoming buyers. And when you wait until the last minute, it's very difficult to nurture these individuals or potential visitors or subscribers into actually becoming actual clients of yours. So I guess that would be kind of like the first thing I would want to mention. And I guess I can let you guys piggyback off of that.
Okay.
So one of the things that I have, and again, if anybody has questions or comments or wants to go directly to something specific, go ahead and put it in the chat, and we'll move along in that direction. But something that I have been exploring a lot from the perspective of the Women's Business Center is email marketing, and I wonder if you can touch on that a little bit, Wendell, because it is a very it's just sending out emails. But it's also a very direct and a very sometimes personal, and it can be invasive way to interact with your customers, but it's also very effective.
Exactly. So email marketing is a very important tool when it comes to marketing and branding and getting promotions out. I know we've heard the concept of email marketing is dead. I'm sure we've seen that a couple of places and people have been posting about it. But what I will tell you is that, a lot of the clients that we've worked with and a lot of our existing clients, they're getting a lot more revenue and touching more people based off of their email list over, basically spending tons of money on marketing, which again, there's nothing wrong with that because you need that element as well. Because with email marketing, the biggest thing is really being able to connect with your subscribers. The study shows that 97% of people who visit a website don't typically buy anything when they first land on there. So if we're looking at a perspective of most people, if they're visiting a website for the first time, we need to be able to build in processes to capture their emails, to capture information, because then you can use that to nurture them into becoming buyers. You can use that to retarget them. And sometimes, when I'm evaluating websites and clients come to me like, hey, why am I not able to sell anything? And I always tell people, the first point of contact is your website. If somebody contacts me or somebody tells me about this really cool product, the first thing I'm going to go do is look this product up. I'm going to go look and see what company is selling it. Where can I get it at a better price? They're looking for all of these elements before they make a buying decision. So their website is your first point of contact. And the challenge that I found is that, we have people come to us for SEO, coming to us for email marketing, coming to us for social media. And I tell them, I was like, the first point of reference that we have to fix is your website. We have to make it lead generating. Without it being a lead generating website, you can spend money on email marketing. You can spend money on social media. And then you're going to keep sending people to a website that is not built to generate and to retarget and to basically nurture into becoming clients of yours. So those are the things that, again, with email marketing being important. However, those are marketing tools. Your website has to perform.
Would you say that, I mean, I know this is part of what you do as a job or your business, but would you say that it is something that people can do on their own, making a website that's going to do the job that it's being built to do? Is that something you can do by yourself, using a free service or just tinkering with it?
Yeah. So what I tell people is, so it's both, it goes both ways. So not everybody is a web designer. Not everybody's a graphic designer. So, as entrepreneurs, when you first start a business, you're wearing multiple hats. It's just natural. It happens. You're trying to save money. You're trying to reinvest your money back into your business. So you're wearing multiple hats. You are the designer. You are the web designer. You are the graphic designer, finding other ways to get logos and build your brand. But most of the time, we do it the wrong way because, again, financially, that could be a hurdle for a lot of businesses and especially a lot of entrepreneurs that are looking to get started. Now, can you do it? 100%. When we do our complimentary calls and our consultation calls before we even, provide or go over services with everyone, the first thing that we're doing, we're analyzing what do you currently have and then providing you potential solutions for you to do it yourself. Mm-hmm. So the ways that you can do that yourself is, for instance, pop-up banners. A lot of people don't have pop-up banners, which basically you can target people who are visiting your website. So if you have 100 people visiting your website, you need to at least have an offer that speaks to that audience. So let's say you're selling T-shirts, or you're selling candles. You need to understand who is your demographic, what are they looking for, and then you cater and you create a pop-up banner, that says, hey, save 10% off of your order today. But in order to get that discount code, you need to subscribe to our website. What I'm finding is that people, they understand the idea of the pop-up, but they're using it the wrong way. They're putting in the discount code right on there. So then they're not really capturing people's information because, they're saying, hey, save 10%, here's the discount code. Mm-hmm. People never actually subscribe to the website. They never get anything. So because, again, you're already just handing them the information rather than nurturing them into getting it and then basically selling them on the product and getting them to become, let's say, an impulse buyer or getting them to, take an action at some point in time later. If they don't take advantage of the 10%, don't send them another 10% coupon the next day. Just nurture them. Tell them, hey, this is what's going on. This is who we are. Introduce yourself. Become personable. And then basically from there, if they're still not responding, then you can probably go a little bit deeper by offering maybe 15%. And then if they're not responding, then at that point, you need to archive them. So there's things that we have to do. And again, a lot of it comes back down to strategy and understanding, what is the strategy behind getting people to actually become buyers, because that's the biggest challenge with every business is how do we sustain, new clients or get new clients or sustain existing clients. And there's tools that can help you and you can do it yourself. You don't necessarily have to hire somebody, but you need the knowledge.
Okay.
Go ahead, Steve. I see that you have your hand up, and I was going to say, I'm sure you have experience in this in your own business.
Well, I can't. I just gotta double down on what Wendell brings up, and the value that a business like his has. Because at the beginning, especially, planning is so critical. And it's not that you're gonna put it down on stone the way Moses found his on the 10 Commandments. You got to have it in a way that it's going to continue evolving a lot, and you're always on it, and you're always working your plan. Your plan is, and you're always changing your plan, and be ready for that kind of mentality, because that's hard to get your head around. That half the battle is planning. But the other thing I wanted to point out is that yes, Wendell's right. You can do it yourself, but is that the best use of your time? And I know all of you have heard this before, and I know all of you struggle with that. But when you're looking at your bank account and you're looking at, well, how am I supposed to do this when I don't have any funds? Then then you can do it yourself, but then be realistic that your business is only going to grow so much, and it's only going to do so much. Hence, if you go back to planning and you do have a strong plan and you have identified your market and you do have customers, well, that's when, if you have a strong plan, you can go to investors, you get people to maybe lend you money or invest, and then be on your team and be with you. And that's all part of the business growth, let's say, journey. That was the only thing I wanted to add. Wendell, I don't know.
Definitely.
What do you think?
So
100%. Yeah, I'll jump on, speak on that as well, because, especially when it comes to, again, just understanding your customers, understanding where you are in your business. Small businesses, medium-sized businesses, large businesses, the biggest thing is planning. And for us, as entrepreneurs, we have to understand that we're not going to be the best at everything. So we have to be able to go to, the resources that are around us. Some people might go to the Women's Business Center because they need the support. They don't know where to get the answers from. And communities like this organization can help provide that. They can help connect you with people that are willing to give you the extra information that you need to really be able to make the right choices for your business. And the other thing too is that I see it all the time is that, we have people coming to us and they're spending so much money on social media advertisement. And then the first question I ask them is, what is your plan? You're spending all this money on social media, but what is your plan? The holidays are coming up. I want to try to sell these purses. I'm trying to sell this new line of products that I just got. But I'm like, so what is your plan? What is your messaging? What are you telling people to get them to feel that, you're the right fit for them? And people are spending money on ads, but they never understood what an effective ad is, and how to effectively, target individuals, how to identify their target audience, how to basically identify if you're running a $3,000 ad campaign and you're getting 0 results. Why are you still spending money on that same ad, hoping and thinking that those ads are going to give you something at some point? You have to be able to understand when to turn off certain things, when to test things and see what's going to work. Because at the end of the day, as entrepreneurs, it's all trial and error. There's things that, we're constantly retesting just to see, hey, how can we improve this? Because what may work today may not work tomorrow. So we have to be a step ahead. You have to be ahead of the curve and be able to make sure that we can adapt to the changes that are happening. COVID happened. A lot of people now started going online. They started trying to create their online businesses. They started, taking this leap of faith they may have lost their job. And hey, now this is an opportunity for me to try to find my passion and start consulting and start doing certain things. But, the people that they're getting advice from also may not have even gotten to the level where they want to be. So that's another thing, is taking advice from people who already been there, who've done it, and who are successful at it, and not just taking advice from everybody, because, sometimes that can hurt you. So those are things, as you're getting ready to prepare for the holiday, just to kind of really think about when it comes to your brand and your business. So that way you can really prioritize, what's important and what isn't important.
I was just going to say, it's part of what you're talking about is setting priorities. Same thing that Steve said. What is the priority for your business? Maybe it is $3,000 a month of social media ads, because that's what you're selling. But maybe your business actually needs to spend money on email, or maybe it needs to spend money on actual people standing in front of other people, right?
Correct.
So what are you selling? What's the best strategy? And like you said, testing these different options and prioritizing your spending. Maybe you need to spend money on the website because of the type of business that you're running. And maybe you save somewhere else. Maybe you do your own work, the one that where you put your energy in something else and you pay for your website, or whatever. There's that setting the priority, and sometimes that involves spending money. But if you're planning and prioritizing, you're spending in the right place. Right.
And it's really the thing too is when it comes to spending money, you have to understand that it's all a risk. That's business in general. You take the risk because you hope to gain something. A lot of people are afraid to take, the extra risk to grow their business because they're afraid, that if this doesn't work, then, I'm back to square one. But there's always a lesson out of everything that you do. And you have to look at it as, okay, if I tried this, it didn't work. Why didn't it work? If, I have a website up for a year and I haven't sold anything on the website, why haven't I sold anything on the website? You have to ask yourself the deep questions and to be able to get to a result or to get to a possible answer for you to be able to find the resources of the right people that can actually help you get and solve the solution that, solve the problem that you probably have. And for us, again, like I said, we get tons of people coming to us for different things. And, the biggest thing that we look at is your website. Is it optimized to perform the way that you need it to? If you're a service-based business, we have two types of businesses. You have service-based and you have product-based. So your service-based business, for instance, UPS, right? You guys, you do service-based where you're delivering, you're delivering items and shipping things for your clients. But then they can come in, they can buy packaging, they can do certain things. So you're servicing two different people. They might be still within the same target audience or the same demographic. However, the way that you would market both of those things, for your products and your service might be slightly different. So we have to understand who are those individuals. What is their age demographic? Why are they visiting us? What is their pain points? And a pain point can be something very simple that all you have to do is mention it. And then also the other thing too is from a website perspective, and I guess from an e-commerce side, we have to understand the journey that you want people to navigate through when they land on your website. And that's one of the biggest things is the journey. A lot of people do not have a journey or idea of how they want people to navigate through their website. They have all their products listed, but no filters. Those are ways that you can help people save time when they land on your website, especially during the holidays. If they're looking for a specific thing, they're not trying to sit there on your website, trying to figure out where's the paper clips. They need to be able to get to the paper clips by going to the accessory or whatever the category that is, and be able to say, okay, this is what I'm looking for. And this is the item. Have a search bar on there, make your customer's life easy. The more you focus on how to make your customer's life easy, the more revenue you'll start to see.
Go ahead, Phyllis.
Yes. Now, speaking of the holiday, the upcoming holiday, and planning, when would you start planning your sales or going at your repeat business, people that have used your service before, and you want a way to lure them back in and get your new customers, but you want repeat business?
So for me, I always plan a year in advance. And the way to do that is really and it's very simple. I know it sounds simple because I do it on a regular. But to everybody else, it might be like, I don't know. I don't know how simple that is. However, the thing is, you know what holidays are coming up. Every year you're celebrating the same holidays. The holidays don't change. The days don't change. You have to make the change to determine that, hey, this is the holiday that's coming up. I need to plan for this. So if I'm going to plan for this holiday, you have Black Friday, you have Cyber Monday, you have Christmas. You could have been having that conversation with yourself in June, January, February. And then the biggest thing about planning is that it saves you time. I know it's a stressful process to do in the beginning, but once you do the planning, it actually saves you a lot of time. Because what I will say is that when we already planned for next year, our pricing, we planned for, the promotions that we're going to have, we planned for the direction, our goals that we're trying to hit. Those things already planned. So we already know what campaigns we have to put in place. Okay. So we know what email marketing that we need to have going out. We know what social media posts that we need to have going out. We know what holidays that we're going to specifically target because we understand our audience. So all of these things are really important things that can really help. Now, one other extra caveat, I know this wasn't part of the session, but I'll throw it out there for people who are on here, just so that you can at least implement, or at least try to figure out how to implement it, is birthdays. A birthday is a holiday to everybody. You have people who are celebrating birthdays every single month. What are you doing for birthdays? That's one of the biggest holidays, especially if, that month, you're like, every January my sales are low. But how many people in your database have birthdays in January?
Mm-hmm.
You can use that as an opportunity to literally continue to grow your business and sell. But the thing about that, again, it just comes down to poor planning and then not knowing what to do, what not to do.
Awesome. Wonderful stuff. Let me transfer. Here's a question before we move to Steve, and then we'll keep coming back and forth, I'm sure. This says Linda on an iPhone. If you want to come off mute, you can go ahead and ask your question.
Thank you. Yes, you mentioned customers having pain points, and that as soon as you mention it, they react. Can you give an example of what you mean by a pain point, please?
Yes. So a pain point is basically a problem that someone is facing. So in the scenario, let's say that, I'll use an example, a generic, I won't name any clients, but we have a cleaning business, right? They come to us, they say, hey, I'm trying to service more people in my community. But everything I'm doing, I'm not getting any leads. I'm not getting anything that's viable for my business to grow and for me to basically sustain it. Now, that's an issue, or I guess a challenge that my client essentially would be facing. Now, the next question for me would be, what is the pain point of your ideal client? So the pain point would be, okay, well, first of all, I guess before I dive into that, so in order to address the pain point, we have to identify what is the service that you're providing, the product or service. That's number one. So in his scenario, that pain point might be, okay, well, the services, we're providing cleaning services. The pain point might be that the client or their ideal client, one, is messy. They don't like to clean their house. Two, they just don't have time to clean their house. Three, they have dogs running around and they're shedding everywhere. And then, they have family events getting ready to happen and they don't have time to, basically address whatever is going on in the house. Or three or four, they don't like to do laundry. So, from that perspective, if they don't want to do laundry, there's certain things that are very specific to each and every service or product that you sell. So we have to identify that if the service is cleaning, what are all the issues that people are experiencing, which is why they would need your particular service in order for them to come to you and actually feel that, hey, you actually can solve my need. So,
and even just
so, yeah.
I want to input something there. What you're describing a type of customer that you've studied, and you are understanding the different aspects of that customer and how they're going to interact with the product that you want to sell them.
Right.
So you're describing a messy person. Let's say you probably want to think about how are you going to bring your product to this person in a way that that person, in the way that they are normally, can interact with your product as easily as possible. Yep. Without having to do too much organizing, too much planning, and they interact with your stuff quick and easy, and it's over. And then you come and resolve these issues that they have.
Yep.
So not just their pain points, but also how are you addressing your setup to mitigate the way that they are as a person or a customer.
Exactly. So really, to sum it up, the three main things are identifying your product and service, identifying what issues are you looking to solve, which is essentially the pain point. Like why do they need this product?
Mm-hmm.
And then basically provide the solution. So if you can do those three things, that in itself will help you really identify how else can you market to people to get them to understand that you're the best solution for them? Because that's what they're looking for. They're looking for a solution. Most people, when they're looking for a service, they're looking for a solution. Somebody's looking to buy hair, they're looking to, look nice because they have an event coming up. So that's you solving their problem of them feeling and looking a certain way.
Mm. So on the topic of pain points, let me go over to Steve and see what kind of pain points people might be expecting to deal with during the holiday season.
Sure. I want to, if I could jump on what Wendell just said, and I'll share with, I think it was iPhone Linda that brought it up. So a pain point at the UPS store is, I tell people, guys, part of my business is I'm in the procrastination business. Like, procrastination business? What are you talking about? Let me explain. So often the customers come to me with the fact that they forgot something, they need to hurry, they need to rush, and they need it out right away. And they needed to get there today, right now. Great. That's my favorite customer because I know what their pain is. I know what product I could sell them. And to Wendell's point, that's what I market. That's where I put some of my marketing dollars, and I track that. But one thing that Wendell didn't bring up, and I think about this when you're in business, one other reason why I do market that product is because it's one of my highest profit margins.
100%.
Now, that's one way to look at it. Another way you could look at it is if you have a product that you don't make a lot of, but you'll sell thousands, well, great. As long as you know how much you're making or what is it you're trying to achieve, then that'll affect your marketing, like what Wendell's trying to suggest on how much you should do your social marketing or what kind of social ads or how you should set it up on your website. So I just wanted to add that, yeah, he's on the money. That's great advice. Please use that when you think about your business planning or about the business that you're trying to build. Again, so guys, I have a PowerPoint. Is that okay if I just share it?
It's perfectly okay, yeah.
Great. Let me bring that up real quick. So again, my name is Steve Ramirez. I am with the UPS store. I've been with the UPS. I've had a UPS franchise now for the last, let's see, can I share that? Since 2015. Is this doing it right? Hold on.
It looks good to me over here.
How's that?
Yeah.
So a really quick disclaimer. I just want to say that the information is based on being a UPS store operator, conversations with local online merchants that have shared their experiences, and information from online media sources. That's what I'm going to be presenting to you. This is not endorsed by UPS, USPS, or the UPS store. This is for educational purposes, to just as a launching pad for each of you to kind of figure out, well, where do I need to go with the information Steve provided to me. All right, a little bit about me. Along with being a franchisee, I'm also the marketing co-op president for the UPS store for about 60 stores in the area. I've got a very small residential property investment and management company called Mantua Way One. That's my email. That's my phone number. I encourage you to reach out to me. Let's set up a one-on-one, have coffee, or you come to one of my groups that I'm a member of. If you want to come as my guest, I'm a member of the North Raleigh Chamber of Commerce. I was a founding member of that in 2019. I'm also part of a B&I group called Raleigh Resource Group since 2018. I've been a Rotarian since 2016. I do a lot of community volunteering, and we donate a lot of money to local organizations. I have my project management professional certification. I've got my master's in organizational change. If you want to talk about any of that stuff or want to come to one of these groups as my guest, please reach out to me. So let's talk about what's going on shipping-wise. According to Deloitte, holiday shipping this year is going to go up between 7 to 9% retail sales shipping, retail sales, and e-commerce is going to go up to 11 to 15% compared to last year. I personally think that's a little optimistic. I think my personal opinion is that travel and COVID, people are so sick of it that they're going to start spending more of their money outside of product. And that they're going to just, I could be wrong, but and also what we're seeing in the media with, can you find things? Can you not find things? I have a little bit of my gut tells me people are going to steer more towards experiences than product. So if you have products, good luck to you. I hope you market it well using some of Wendell's advice and, get those shipments out. And I'll explain why, because the challenge is you've got shipping strikes, you got labor shortages, you got limited shipping containers, you got freight and port congestion. You got another thing. There's product actually in warehouses, but there's not enough truck drivers. So these are all the challenges that are going on in our supply chain right now that may or may not affect you. Your business, you may already have the product, you just may need to get it out. So congratulations, that's great, because you're way ahead of the game versus some of the really big, larger players that are out there. But I'll tell you what the carriers are doing. When you look at UPS, they've increased their revenue by 7.4%. That's their last quarter. And you know where they got most of that increase? By increasing their prices by 12%. What does that mean? You as a shipper now got to pay 12% more if you want your shipments to go out. Another tip I want to give everyone with regards to shipping, at least through UPS, they've increased their scrutiny and pricing around additional handling and irregular packages. What's an additional handling? So if you got packages that are really large, over 70 pounds, they're going to start adding a lot more cost. If it's going to a really rural location, I've seen my prices at the retail level go quite a bit more. So be careful where you're shipping. If you're setting up pricing that's flat and you don't have it dynamic, be very careful where you're shipping to, that you can fulfill your promise to your customer. Looking at FedEx, they also said their results declined because of higher labor costs and network inefficiencies. And what are they doing? They're offsetting it by increasing higher revenue per package. So, and now if you look at USPS, the Postal Service, they've also announced an 8.8% increase in pricing. And I don't know if how many of you are shipping right now, but as of October 3rd until December 26th, they have a temporary shipping rate increase. So I've seen a lot of online merchants, local merchants that don't use warehouses or that don't use Amazon directly or some sort of third party to ship for them. They come into the store. They mostly use first class package service and parcel select. Be aware that the prices have gone up, and that's going to affect your bottom line, your margins. And what's the public being told? Well, you got to shop early. You better prepare a list of substitutes, because if you don't find it on the store shelf, you don't see it online, or if you find out that online they're selling, it's going to take a while, customers aren't going to wait. They're going to go look for something else. And that could either be a challenge for you or it could be an opportunity. I think that for small businesses, especially micro local business, it's an excellent opportunity. And I'll get into that later, why I think that. And they're telling the public, what we're seeing in the news is you got to use a combination of different shopping methods. Go in person, go online. But you know what? Also, the opportunity for small local people like ourselves is people can come see you, or you can go visit them. I think there's an opportunity there. So my first tip that I want to give everyone with regards to holiday shipping, and this is, I don't know how many of you already know about this, but there are dates that UPS, FedEx, and the Postal Service puts out and says, okay, you got to ship by this date if you wanted to make it by Christmas Eve or the day before Christmas Eve. So for UPS, they're saying it's got to be by December 15th, basically giving them about 8 or 9 days. That's worst case scenario if you got to go all the way out to California, which usually takes 5 to 6 days. December 15th, I'll tell you, my experience in doing this retail shipping now for about 6 years is, even if they're saying December 15th or 16th, add another 1 or 2 days to your delivery. So get those shipments. If you're going through UPS ground, which is your most economical through UPS, get it out by the 13th or 14th. If you're like most online merchants that try to go for the absolute least expensive, you can go through the Postal Service, but look, and their dates are December 17th. I'm telling you, I'm very, very, very skeptical of that. If any of you have been selling since last year, you'll know that last year I knew merchants that are online sellers that sent their stuff around Thanksgiving or the beginning of December, and their customers didn't get it till the first week of January. I don't know how many of you saw that, or if anyone wants to make any comments in the chat, I'll look there. So be very careful about. I would recommend just getting it out as early as possible. If you notice here, FedEx is saying December 9th. Remember what I said before. Why are they saying December 9th and UPS December 15th? Because FedEx is saying they're having labor shortages and they have network inefficiencies. So they're just trying to be really conservative about about the packages that they're getting out. Let's see. So what's my next tip? Please get stocked up on your supplies. Get those packages boxes, package material, tape, and shipping labels all ahead of time. Someone had mentioned earlier that they've been ordering. I think I heard it here that they've been ordering their shipments way ahead of time. I would recommend, please get your stuff ahead of time as best you can. To what was brought up earlier, it is a little bit, I don't want to say late for holiday shipping. It's I think we're in the midst of it. So whatever you can do to be prepared for it or get as much as possible and just have leftover for next year is the best way to go. My advice, make sure you have a few local vendors that are good contacts. Outside of UPS Store, there's a brand called Quick Pack and Ship or Ship On Site here in the Raleigh-Durham area. Those folks usually have a great supply of boxes that you can use for shipping, and they probably will work with you on deals for packaging. Know your carrier's guidelines for the box strength. So if you're shipping something, make sure it's 200-pound burst strength or 32 ECT. And some of you are like, what does that mean? So UPS is saying, if you want us to make sure that your product gets there safely, it has to take up to 200 pounds being on top of it. Let me show you a quick picture. If you see this box, this truck here, this is one of the most well-packed trucks. And this is what UPS actually strives for. When I go to a UPS hub, often this is what I see. If your box is up here, great, you have no problem. But there's no promise that this isn't going to be your package of vases or perfumes or glasses that are going to be down here. You better use a good box, and you better have good packaging material inside, or your customer is going to be disappointed when they receive their package.
Wow.
Yeah. When in doubt, if you don't use a good box, use ton of tape. This is I know UPS would not agree with me on this, but tape is, if you're using a lot of tape, that's expensive, but that's one way to make sure your box stays together, if you know what I mean. Yeah. Am I going at an okay pace, or any questions so far?
I will let you know if there's a question. I mean,
okay,
I'm sure
great.
There are.
The other advice that I think should go all year round, but especially during the holidays, streamline your fulfillment and shipping process. And these are great tips here. Add tags to each order so you know which shipping provider it's for and what's the deadline, when you need to get it out of your shop. Organize by delivery method. Is this going local? Is this going standard? Is this going express? So you know by order date, oldest to newest. And then organize your fulfillment area like an assembly line. You got your product, you got your packing slips, you got your packaging, and you got your shipping labels.
Lots of planning and pain point mitigation is what I see.
Yeah, that's the advice that I got from a lot of the local online shipping guide people. I've got a customer by the name of Funfash. He was doing about 5 years ago, about $1.2 million in sales in clothing, and his garage was just an assembly line. And there was a certain amount of product that he kept at his garage and a certain amount that he had at his storage unit that he would bring. Now, the reason I point that was 5 years ago is unfortunately, the market's changed for retail and for his kind of retail. He had a lot of challenges. He had crooks from China duplicating his styles and reselling his styles online as his brand. So he's had a lot of those challenges. His sales have now gone down to about $350,000, and he's about to get out of the business because it's been too hard to compete with crooks in China or the cost of Amazon, which I don't go into here. But if anyone wants to learn a little bit more about how the FOB or how Amazon shipping, posting it on there works, it's not cheap. It's easier, but it's not cheap. But we could talk about that outside. But again, so my focus is if you're a micro or small business that you're working out of your home or a small business or a location locally, that's what this focus is. So my next step is about drop-off packages. So once you have your order, you packaged it up, well, where do you take it? Some of my contacts have UPS or the Postal Service come pick it up at their location. But remember, if you do that, there is a cost to that. So a less expensive way to do that is to go drop it off either at UPS, FedEx, or at the Postal Service. But then the cost to that is your time. You're running around all over town delivering your packages to drop them off. So depending on what you value, you're gonna choose your choice there. One other option, if you do have someone that picks up, know your carrier's name. If you got a postal person that works, make sure you're super friendly with them and make sure you tip them. There's nothing like showing gratitude through, a little bit of cash or gift cards, something. People will remember you and want to look out, and people want you to succeed. People aren't going to want you not to succeed. But if you don't treat them with respect, or you don't try to get to know them, then why should they care about you? You're just like Amazon. You don't care.
Do the networking and create relationships.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
With your UPS driver, your FedEx driver, with your postal service carrier, all of them. Familiarize yourself with the location of your local UPS store. We can accept UPS packages, obviously. Some of us also take US Postal Service packages. Know when to drop off. Like, hey, when's the carrier going to come pick up? At my store, we've got the last pickup in the area. They come as late as 7 o'clock for the UPS. They come for the Postal Service, comes around 4:30. Or for the Postal Service, if you know you got mostly first-class mail packages, find out where the distribution center is and see if you can make a contact there with the postmaster / the fulfillment center manager. They're basically the manager, the postmaster there. And find out if you can go there and drop off stuff. They may want that. They may not want you loading up their truck with stuff. If you can bring it to them and put it in one of their carts, they'll gladly stick it into one of their carts, make their life easy. And then when the truck comes that takes it out to Greensboro or Greenville, they'll just throw it on that truck. So you may want to consider that if you've got enough of that, enough packages going out. This tip here, this next tip, is one that is, I kind of going on a limb on my own, what I think, if you're a micro or small business owner, what you should think about doing. But that with USPS having so many delays, UPS and FedEx maybe being at their max and maybe forgetting or not getting to your customer when they promised, you may want to do local delivery or do curbside pickup. There's going to be a lot of last minute shopping going on. Do you want to be in that market? It may mean that you're going to have to go out and deliver. But I'll tell you one thing that I'm not listing here that you're going to earn is customer loyalty, or at least the customer's going to really remember that this brand went out of their way to help me out, and they're going to want to tell their friends. One thing Wendell didn't bring up, and I'm sure he'll tell you from a marketing perspective, it's a lot more expensive to get a new customer versus getting one customer that is really satisfied, because they turn around and tell 10 of their friends, and that's so valuable in gold if you can do that. You may want to partner with a local retailer that you can revenue share with. So if you know that you've got orders coming through in another, down in Garner, and you can't get to Garner as often, maybe there's a local retailer that'll keep your stuff on the shelf, and you can send orders to them, and you guys can do some sort of revenue split. The idea is, how do you get money still coming in and helping your bottom line? Can you extend your hours, especially during the holidays? People get nervous. They want to know, hey, when is my package coming? Just can they reach out to you outside of the 9 to 5 regular schedule? And can they reach you by phone, email, by text? What's their preferred way of communicating? If there's one thing I've learned about the generation that's under 30, they love to text. They love to text. They don't want to talk to you. They don't even want to see you. They'll just do everything via text. It seems like that to me. I could be wrong. So be open to that. Can you pivot, or can you provide that kind of communication to your customers? And then finally, be proactive when customers will receive their purchase. I don't know how many of you saw the news about Kanye West this morning. Yeezy's going to pay $950,000 to settle a lawsuit over late shipments. So I wasn't aware of this, but I always thought that makes a whole lot of sense. That if you get an order and you don't fulfill it within 30 days, you're breaking a federal law. And a court in California agreed with the plaintiffs in California, and basically they won a lawsuit against Kanye West or Ye with his Yeezy brand about getting stuff out. And
wow,
yeah, but they're not going to admit wrongdoing. Go figure. So that's in the Wall Street Journal. You could go take a look at that. So be careful, folks. If you take orders, make sure that you can deliver or stay in communication with your clients. Okay, and then finally, again, this is kind of holiday, post-holiday, but get ready for those returns. What my understanding is that National Returns Day is January 2nd, but this season with COVID and everything, this holiday season, expect returns in December, January, and even into February. One thing that I was surprised about was that the average rate of returns over that period is almost 30%. So if you sold whatever $50,000 worth of stuff, expect 15,000 to come back to you. And they say, which is 10% increase compared to the rest of the year. Apparel, yeah, and I confirmed this with John at Fun Fast. She said, yeah, I get anywhere throughout the year between 20 to 30%, and in the holidays, it's more. I know a man who delivers these tools for sewing, for industrial sewing. And when he says typically throughout the year, holiday, not holiday, because he's mostly business to business, he says he gets 5 to 10% return. So you got to factor that into your economics, and whether it's a holiday or not, but definitely during the holidays, you're going to see more returns. And the reason I'm bringing that up is there a way that you can mitigate that? Can you be really clear on your website? Getting back to some of Wendell's points, can you be really clear on your website on what your return policy is? If you offer free return, great, I'll send it to you for free. But if you return it back to me, you got to pay for that shipping back. Or if there's a return, that's great, didn't meet your satisfaction, then can you be clear? Maybe you and your team can work a script or practice on a script where, hey, can you convince the customer to maybe keep it or donate it, and you give them some sort of a credit if it's if that's going to be less expensive than them shipping it back to you, or you shipping it back to yourself. I remember one other tip that I saw is some clients, to improve the customer experience, some vendors, what they do is they'll ship it and they'll even include a return label. Why? So that when the customer, if they're dissatisfied, they just put the return label on there, and you only get charged when the return label is used. That improves the customer's experience. They're like, oh, this is what I want. They just return it back to you. For vendors that really want that product back so they can get it back out to potential customers, that may be a way to do it, or you may want to factor that in. But yeah, that's all I have. I'm open to any questions. I hope that was helpful. I hope that wasn't too fast. I was running through it, so I want to be respectful of time. And I didn't know if this. Nathan, I was going off of what you were telling me about holiday shipping. I'm not sure how many folks on the call already do holiday shipping, or this is kind of they're planning for it. So I would love to hear any questions or feedback.
Definitely. If you have any questions, go ahead and put them in the chat. Come off mute. I found this all very useful information, and I love how there's so many things that you can mitigate in the shipping situation from in the beginning, from your website, from how you're offering your product, and from specifying the parameters that are going to impact how people get their product, what they can do afterwards, how you charge them. I see Linda's hand up. You can go ahead, Linda.
Okay, I thought that was very helpful. So, like you said, small packages. I was thinking being proactive, because I've heard so much about the slowdowns and the supply chain and everything, but just trying to ship everything maybe even a little bit earlier. Like even Thanksgiving, because like you said, an example, I did ship something near the fringe deadline last year, that mid-December, and yes, it was January before it got there. So I said, I will not do that this year. I will be way out ahead of the curve and go ahead and and get it out. Maybe even because I feel like it's going to be an issue come by Thanksgiving in my mind. So I'm really kind of trying to be proactive in that time frame. What is your thought?
Oh, absolutely, Linda. I think you and everybody else is going to try to do the same thing. And I was trying to put this across through the presentation, Linda, that what I've learned in my career and I put to practice in my business is the more you communicate with your client, the more you can both be on the same side. And what do I mean by that? When customers feel like they're alone, or customers feel like they're not being heard, or customers feel like they're on their own, that's the fastest way to disappoint them, frustrate them, or even lead them to getting upset and angry. But the more communication you can have with them about what you proactively tried to do. Hey, I got your order. I got it out. And just being on that, the more that you can hopefully navigate them towards, or hopefully the package will just get delivered when everyone's expecting it. Or if there is a challenge, how can you help them get their package? And I know I'm getting you into a place where, now you're taking on some of the carrier's responsibility of dealing with logistics, but I think that earns you more market share. So as long as you're looking for larger market share for next year or the year afterwards, you may have to factor that in, as that's just part of the model during the holidays. Does that make sense, Linda?
Yes, because in other words, just be prepared to really super serve your customers in this area. I already know that it's a possible, challenge, and I'm sure they would greatly appreciate, like you said, knowing that I'm trying to be very customer proactive to serve them, and I may have to go the extra mile.
Now, with that said, what I've seen, at least in my retail store, we'll do anywhere from 150, 200 packages a day. Is that 90 to 95% of the stuff gets there on time? But Linda, all you need is that 5% of customers to be upset, disappointed with you, and then start leaving you bad reviews. And now you're calling Wendell. Okay, Wendell, how do I deal with this?
Exactly. So I 100% agree with Steve. And that was a great presentation, Steve, as far as just going through that, because I think overall, logistically, those are the things that we have conversations with our clients about, especially policies. Those are very important, especially with any website. If you're selling anything on your website, you need to have your policies written out. Get together with an intellectual property attorney, get those things sorted out, as far as your shipping, your returns, your handling, all of that stuff, because I'm telling you, we've seen returns, and again, especially if you're new into this business of, selling products and, or not necessarily services, the percentages are very low. But when it's product based, there are returns that happen, and sometimes that can make or break your business, because, depending on your profit margin on a product, especially if you've already extremely discounted it, that in itself will put you in the red. And then now you're having to make up for that for a different product that you have to sell. So those are the things that always understand, your costs. Try to figure out ways to cut down your costs for products. If you can figure out, this is how much shipping is going to cost. I see a lot of people putting on there because they see other people doing it. Oh, it's free shipping if you spend this amount of money. How much is the two products that you're selling costing you? What is your profit margin? And if that free shipment is basically more than what your profit margin is, you shouldn't be running that offer. Or from a perspective, again, marketing 101 is all about perception. So in this scenario, if you feel that, hey, my product is going to be this much, but you want to do free shipping, add that shipping to the cost. Use that language to say shipping is included, for free. But at the end of the day, it's a marketing tactic that a lot of businesses are using, because in this world, really, there's nothing really free. So somebody's paying for it. So if somebody says it's free, just know that that cost is coming somewhere. It might be coming out of your product, you just don't know. But it's all about how you advertise and how you word certain things to be able to make it so that they feel that they can trust you and know that they're going to be able to get the service that that you're able to provide them.
Let me add also that, in doing research for your presentation today, GoDaddy and Shopify, if you do a search, there's some quote unquote policies that they recommend to their customers that you may be able to learn and educate yourselves on what is a good return policy or what the policy should look like. But to Wendell's point, yeah, eventually, if you do have to write one up, you got to get were you saying like an attorney, Wendell? Or
Oh, yeah. So there's different type of attorneys. There's intellectual, there's business attorneys. Intellectual mainly deals with the contracts. And then a business attorney mainly would focus on, getting your business registered, getting your EIN number, some of them do tap into contracts as well, but mostly intellectual will really help you with that contractual return labels, policies, and things of that nature that are very specific to your brand. So then that way, anybody who visits your website, they know that if they're making a purchase, that one, their information is being protected, making sure that obviously, you understand their shipping policies, and all of those things are going to be very important.
I see Linda again, and I'll let Linda go, and then we'll close this out. Go ahead, Linda.
Thank you so much. Yeah, so my product will be a book. So, because you really got my thoughts spinning about that and concerns about that, and it being shipped out. So am I better off driving them to do the ebook, during this holiday season than the hard copy, or I gotta just wait and swim with the sharks here?
Can I guess I'll jump in for that one. So it all depends, and the reason why I say it depends, because let's say you're only selling 10 books a month, but somebody is within your area, you can get to them. Yes, that might make sense if it's not going to cost you more in gas to get there than for you to ship it. If it's more along the lines of, they live in a different state, it's going to take you more time, then it probably makes more sense for you to just go into the post office and ship that book. But at the same time, we have to look at, the cost. Cost is always going to be a factor. So you have to look at the end of the day, what is the bottom line? What is it going to cost you?
Can I put a little thing in there too before? Sorry, Steve. I think you mentioned ebooks, Linda, as well, right? I was just going to say,
I will have that available. I will have, I could drive to, maybe during this holiday season promoting, download the ebook and something, I don't know what else, I hadn't thought like that. You're making me think about that, because, this is going to be such an interesting period as an alternative versus, really pushing the paperback book.
Linda, can you still send them the book and offer them the ebook and still make a decent profit?
I will look at that.
Because can they, say, hey, because I value you so much and I want you to, enjoy the book, you can start reading it today and the book is on its way to you, type of, I don't know. And getting back to the local delivery thing, that's only, again, it's the last minute people. I was thinking, you're going to have a lot of last minute sales. Are you the author or are you the publisher?
No. Yes, I'm the author. Mm-hmm.
So, what a great way to get, maybe you could set up at a Starbucks or somewhere where people could come to you and come meet the author.
Yep.
Well, definitely. What you were saying about experiences, I think that will work for me a lot. But, some people, I know they're going to be, out of, like, as he was saying, out of state or something like that. But I like that idea of just driving them, go ahead and enjoy now. And, your book will be on the way to you, and how I can figure that out cost wise. I think that's a good scenario.
This goes back to what Wendell's saying. When I look at business plans, or what I always struggled with is you're putting down all these things you want to do, but often what we're not told is it's not just putting down what we want to do. It's also what questions should we be asking ourselves as we're going through our business plan.
100%.
And it's this continuous cycle, folks, of asking questions. And Wendell was right about that, is asking these questions. And that's how you reevaluate it, rechange your plan. It's by working that plan, that's how your plan will start to work for you.
100%. And I know with time, I know we're on time right now, so I do want to just say one quick thing. So, one thing that we do within our organizations, we actually have a business development program. And that program is designed to help entrepreneurs create an actual business plan, an actionable business plan within 30 days. Because the biggest thing with, traditional business plans is that, yes, you get a lot of templates, people send templates, people write business plans for other people. And I think it's great in the sense if you're just trying to get something written so you can get funding. It's very important, of course, because the bankers are going to ask for it. However, we found that most of the clients that go through the program, which is more of like a one-on-one coaching about, basically breaking down everything within a business plan and making it simple and actually asking those questions and basically walking you through these things, we saw a higher success in how they perform in their business because one, they're involved. Two, they're able to understand and see the process. Three, they're able to actually go through and actually learn how to run a business themselves, and be able to see that, oh, wow, I'm actually going to be spending this much money in the next coming months. Is it even worth it for me? Mm-hmm. Because people are making investments and starting businesses, but they don't even know how much it's going to cost them. So those are the things that, is very important to know. So that way you can get yourself to a place where you're making an educated decision on your financial pockets. So that way you can really grow and scale.
Wonderful stuff. I appreciate both of you. Great information today. And I think people have gotten good stuff. Yes, definitely. Good stuff. Thank you for your questions, Linda. And I wish you the best with your book. And I like the physical book myself, but there's definitely a place for that virtual or that ebook option. And it's adding value to what somebody's already getting from you. The more value you add, the better usually it is. So good luck to you. Good luck to everybody else. Remember to reach out. Steve put his information in there. Wendell put it in there. Reach out to them if you have questions, if you want to interact with them. Steve was mentioning the organizations he participates in. That is like foundational to running a business and to participating in the community, that networking aspect. Get to know your postal service delivery guy, your UPS guy. It's as basic as that, Show your smile and participate. So thank you again for being with us. Thank you, Wendell. Thank you, Steve. And I hope to see everybody again sometime soon. And yes.
Bye, everybody.
And happy holidays, even if it's
happy
still
holidays.
Good luck, everybody. Good luck.